guys. Rick Shaw here on the 19th of May 2023. It's my little buddy's birthday today. He's going to be 6. It seems kind of funny, 6 years have gone by already with that little guy. So pretty amazing. We got grandmas over. My wife's father, I think he's been gone about 12 years now. They have the same birthday, so it's nice. We got grandma. She had went into the hospital, I guess, for her gallstones or whatever, and they checked her out real good, and she doesn't need to get the surgery or anything like that. So that's a good thing. But we have a little thing we do for birthdays. I always let him open up one present, and Moo he gets a little bit out of line. The boys, they have their pecking order, and they mess with each other. So he hid it. He built this little car, and then he hid it, because Matty will take pieces off it for his little car. So he hid it, and then he couldn't find it. So I was upset with him because he immediately blamed his brother. And then when I finally got up to look for it, it was right where he put it. So, he was definitely getting out of line yesterday. I don't like it when they just assume something and say it like it's fact. So him and I had a little bit of a reckoning there. But I do our thing for the birthday celebrant. I always take them out. I'll take that person out. We'll go eat somewhere, whether it's breakfast or lunch. It'll be lunch for Moomoo because he's got school at noon and he doesn't want to miss. So we'll take him out, and then we'll take him up to get his cake and his ice cream. And he saw a little. I got one for Maddie. It's like an old Bostage pencil sharpener. It's got a crank on it. It's got a little thing that grabs the pencil and feeds it into the grinder. And I got one for Maddie, and it seems to be holding up pretty well. It's plastic. It's not a steel one, but it's working just fine. And Moomoo wanted one of them, so we're going to pick him one up today. A little extra present. So it should be a pretty nice day. We're going to take the car. We're not going to take the bike. But we got kind of it's starting to be a red sky this morning. But I was watching a little bit of that, excuse me, Dylan McVulva. He's in the news again. I guess they're going to have some kind of hearing that they're pushing this advertisement towards kids, and that's against the law. So they got, I think it's Cruz is pushing that. And a lot of this stuff going on in the government with this report that came out. It just seems to me nobody's going to go to the pokey for that. They don't seem to do that. So pretty crazy. But a lot of these companies, I think what's happening now with these companies that are going so-called woke, it's picking sides now. They're picking sides. You're either going to be on God's side or you're going to be on Satan's side. And I think that's what this is. Holy cow, Jack Daniels I seen is doing it. They're so many companies, Levi's, Coors even, Miller Lite. These guys are picking this stuff up, and they're just going on it for, their consumers or customers. These guys are a small percentage, but they're loud and vocal. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I just don't understand these companies. I mean, they're shooting themselves in the foot. And, I just shake my head at it thinking, man, this is really crazy. This is revelation unfolding, it looks to me. But I did a vlog this morning. I took the dogs for a ride on the tricycle this morning, and I must have not got the microphone pushed in all the way because it was just static. So that one had to go in the garbage. Another thing that happened to me last night, when I went to bed, I was going to shut the phone off, and I seen I had a notification from YouTube, community something, and I just, I ain't looking at that, just shut it off. Got up this morning about 3, opened it up. They went back to December 2020, smacked that they said, oh, we're not going to shut you down this time, but we're taking this video down. It was something, they let you watch it, and it was talking about the Supreme Court, what happened, back in 2020. This was in December. And it goes against their standards, because we don't want anyone thinking for themselves, These stinking simps. So, like the old man used to always say, you're not paranoid if they are out to get you. And I swear they're doing all they can. This little tiny channel here, and they're looking to smash it. That's all there is to it. They can't have anybody thinking for themselves or speaking their mind anymore. That's unacceptable. You're not allowed to speak your mind. Look what's happening in Australia now. They got this bill they're ramming through where to go online, if you say anything, you can do jail time. It's where's the victim? There's victimless crimes now that you can do. Your freedom will be taken away from you. I remember years ago, a buddy of mine, his grandfather died, and he wound up with a fully automatic Thompson submachine gun. And he took it, and he was out shooting it one day, and somebody turned him in, and man, they sent the federales. We were getting calls from everywhere. Hey, there's cops up on this corner, there's cops here. And they went in with a big SWAT thing and arrested him because he didn't have the tax stamp. That's all it was. He didn't hurt nobody with it. There was no victim at all other than the government, and he didn't have the money for bond, and man, he got nailed. He got nailed big time for that. But it's they just keep chipping away. It's like what they're doing with this woke stuff and the Second Amendment. They can't do stuff outright, so they're just going to keep chipping. They're going to do little bits here and little bits there and just keep chipping away, and people don't notice that. They just take it. I personally think every law on the books for the Second Amendment should be off. They should just can every damn one of them. You should be able to own a firearm, carry it wherever you go, and this crime will go away. I'm seeing these big companies in certain cities, they're closing stores because they can't afford to operate. Because these Soros prosecutors and DAs are if they're steal less than $1,000, we can't mess with them. What the hell's that? They're letting crime run rapid in the streets. They're letting it happen, but they're busting little old grandma in front of a abortion clinic for standing there with the sign, and cops are harassing people. I watch these auditors all the time harassing people for a camera. It's ridiculous. Throwing them in the cuffs. And the sad thing is when these guys push the envelope and they take it to court, they win, they get settlements, and who pays for it? The regular folk. That's who pays for it. It doesn't come out of the cop's pension. So, to me, it's, everything's going topsy-turvy. The pages of Revelation are turning. We're seeing things happening now that never been seen before. And I think this is just the way it's going. The good Lord can change his mind if everybody drops to their knees and asks for forgiveness. He can turn this back. But I see next year we got another selection going up. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen. But Satan, that's one thing he really hates, is for you to pray. He has no control over that. And it's what needs to happen, guys. You have to, time to, like they used to say when I was young at church, burn a hole in the rug. But, I'm looking at this from here in the Philippines and just shaking my head. Worldwide, this is crazy. China is the blueprint for all this crap with their social credit score, and they want to take the money, guys. I would resist that 100%. You vote with your dollar, and if these stores say you can't use cash, don't go there. Go to the places that use cash, and there'll be plenty popping up. They want money. They have to do it to stay in business. But a lot of the people who were just regular folks, they got their business smashed with this the big con that happened. But they let the big stores go, the big box stores that's going to toe the line for them. But you have to just resist this and just say no. Look what's happening with, Anheuser-Busch. I mean, their stock's just getting trashed, and it's more and more. They're trying to give their beer away. I seen a thing I think it was on the quartering. You buy a case of beer, they give you $20, so they're paying you 2 cents to haul the crap away. And you couldn't give me one. Sorry, none of this. But all these companies, one of my buddies was saying Jack Daniels had that commercial going on. And he said that, that's one I always liked. And he goes, I'm just not buying it anymore. I'm done. So, and it's a shame that these companies, what do they have on them? What the heck do they have on them? And these stupid diversity hires that they do, and they get these wokies from college that don't know nothing. I remember laughing so hard, and people hit me on this one, was when Groundhog Day was on, and the girl went to college and studied 18th century French poetry, and he laughed. what a loser. But it's true. They get these degrees and all this bull crap. I'm one of these guys that, most people are better suited to take up a trade. You can do really well. I took up a trade. I know guys that are heating and air conditioning guys, fire control guys, carpenters. And the cool thing about that, there's always work. I remember one time I was thinking, man, a little bit low on money, needed a little bit of money. I had to pay with where I was working. It got held up. Something happened at the bank. I didn't blame the boss or anything. So, it was paycheck to paycheck when I was real young. And out of the blue, some lady seen me at the store, and she says, "Aren't you one of them fellers that does electric?" And I said, "Sure." She says, I got a problem. And went over to her house. She wanted some ceiling fans put up. She wanted a plug for an air conditioner. She was a real old lady. And I gave her a real good price, fixed a switch for her, switch fried out. She said it hadn't been working in years. And I gave her a good price, and she wound up giving me a huge tip, and told all her friends. So I had plenty of side work that I could do. And what are you going to do with 18th century French poetry? You're going to sit with a bunch of beatniks and read off a poem from memory? And all this woke crap they're teaching. I worked at a college for a while, and I was in a engineering class, and they were running those classrooms 24 hours a day. You couldn't hardly get in there, so we had to go up and set barricades up and partition off part of the room so we could do a row of lights. And it wasn't that the lights weren't working, they had to have these new ballasts because they save energy, and they don't tell you that they don't last. You get an old sodium ballast. I've seen ones in there that were dated from the 60s, because you write the dates on them when you put them in with a Sharpie. And these new ones, you're lucky to get a year out of them. So you're not saving anything. You're just creating more garbage with this greeny stuff. And this guy was talking to the classroom. They were having an open discussion. And he wasn't talking anything about engineering. He was talking about socialism and why it's a better system. And, if you get into the engineering, you can work for the state. And he was going on. And I'm just shaking my head going, what the hell are they doing? They took over the schools, guys. And the ones that didn't take over the school, the government dumbs the kids down so much. It's just like the colleges here. They say, in the Philippines, all the people are college educated. Well, I guess so, when the college education is barely a high school education. That I've seen the schoolwork from these kids. I see when they get out of high school here, they're lucky to have a 6th grade education, so they have to go to college. Now, do they have good colleges here? Yeah, you betcha. But how many people can afford them? They're private colleges. These people can't afford them. So it's crazy. They get you coming and going. That's all there is to it. So, but I'm going to have a nice trip with my buddy. He wants to go to Army Navy, and we got to do our shopping. Mall doesn't open until 10, and I want to get him back for school. So we'll be moving along pretty good. But he wants he wants a triple hamburger, and I said, well, you'll be bringing some of that home. Maddie couldn't even finish it, and he says, that's okay, I want it. I'll give some to Dorothy and Maddie. So he is pretty, little Moo, he is pretty given when it comes to him getting stuff. Maddie too. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, and sorry about my good tricycle ride one this morning. Didn't work out. I got to be a little more careful pushing the microphone into the back of the camera. So I'll let you go, and this is Rickshaw out.